So Glitch Cult, what I think is interesting about that song is that it's an EDM song, but it's recorded as a full performance. Like all those sequences and all that, it was like a fourth take, full on just performing that. And we rehearsed that song, the drums and all that. We rehearsed like, I don't want to say a month, but we rehearsed all that prior, sitting around, with my family and stuff at the homes and stuff, and just rehearsing that stuff. And so I think that's pretty cool. It's interesting. We performed it like a song, performance band and all that. And that's just the way it operates. And it had to do with particularly, especially with the effect of the wind howl, which comes before the screams, like ooh. And that was from the environment, because I was in this house and the echoey and the reverb and all that. And it produced that sound. It was like chilling because, it was a spooky house I was in. It was like any, giant 2-story house that any band was in, it was just a spooky house. And it was my grandmother's house. My grandparents, they passed away, and hence the grandness of Glitch Cult, like why it's so bombastic in its way, because, and particularly the, having that space to create the song, I was able to just go all out, rehearse the fuck out of it, record a full performance, and just be as, that as much as possible, no interruptions, anything like that. And that was afforded that because it was, I did it during income tax season, so I had my income tax money thrown down, and Glitch Cult was a real battle for me, and it also serves as a weapon against other battles, and I'll get to that point in a minute. But the situation I was under, was like once the money ran out, as most artists, it was like, what you gonna do now, Josh? And we were under scrutiny because we were facing, impending doom of actually having to leave the house, the property being seized by the other members, and situations like, why is there no bulbs? And I'm like, well, we're probably leaving soon. Why don't I fucking put a bulb in? So Glitch Cult, it's like it was a battle to create, and I mean, everything you do in life has a price, and that was the tab I paid for that, because I already had the computers and all that. Like Glitch Cult, I could not make it in modern times. It's so precious. The computer I made it on, I invested in back in like 2006, 2007, and nobody had computers at the time. There was no productions, there, like it is now. I carried the computer back to my apartment, and my friends were like, why do you got a computer? It's like, relax, we're still gonna fucking party, So Glitch Cult, is like, there was no way, something could be made like that, and it was only rock and roll, like, I had the time, the freedom, the space. I invested in, the cutting edge of technology at the time. I mean, that song would have cost me a fucking fortune, and I would have had to work, extra hours to, pay for it, to explain, this vision I was trying to get, and all that stuff, and time runs and all that, no rehearsals. Like, if I was like, having to be an artist in this time, that thing would have killed me, because, and Glitch Cult probably never exists because of all that, the way it is, and Glitch Cult, you gotta have the hit these days, you know what I'm saying? Even it could be a challenge for you if you say, but it's so precious today. Artists gotta hit the views. That's it, just kebab. And Glitch Cult was a challenge. It was great, and it was also the environment I was in. It's like, gotta have a hit. People. I think Josh needs to work more on those kind of stuff. So, Glitch Cult was so important to me on that side, where it's like, so yeah, you gotta have a hit these days. It serves well, especially if people are trying to, dictate your schedule. I think, so Glitch Cult with heavy production, and of course, the environment I was at the time, top 40, hits by Britney Spears, Spice Girls, stuff like that. So, Glitch Cult was like, going, in that kind of market, compete in that sort of realm. And, it's a challenge if, you think, no, you don't really need a hit or whatever. But, you do. Every band needs like a hit, to fucking get this out there. Glitch Code is that for us, you know. And if not, it's just a challenge for yourself as an artist, you know. But like I said before, you know, it's made EDM, but we rehearsed it, performed the whole thing through Suck Street in sequence, like we do any songs on guitars and bands like that. Also, you know, social pressure. You know, it's not that easy to be an artist these days. You know, I know people who, you know, were aspiring artists. You hang out with them, you party with them. They're in the process of making records. You know, their whole life is falling apart while they're doing it. You know, they're trying to keep the job to pay for the studio time. They're trying to maintain the job. I guess like the antics, the lifestyle, being who they are. You know, and everything just falls apart. You know, and all of a sudden, they're, you know, the cousin's apartment roommate with the cousin, out of job, and you know, Glitch Cult could not have survived that. You know, Glitch Cult is, you know, made from a rock and roll point. It's like, you know, we had properties, we had the space, we had no one telling us this or that, you know, no distractions, and the computer. You know, I invested in that back in 2006, and it was still strange because there was no producers out there. It was just me and my friends, and they're like, "Just buy a computer," you know, I don't know why, you know, and it's like, hey, it's cool. I still got money for partying and alcohol and stuff, but you know, I mean, I'm so happy I had that computer and invested in it, because there was no way Glitch could produce any other way if I didn't have like my home personal studio, you know, that I had, you know. I mean, there was no way that was ever going to come about. It would have been too much money. I would have went crazy. I would have lost my job anyways and all that. And you know, that's all the sort of things a modern artist faces these days, you know. And you know, the grand scope of it. I mean, that was a real battle for me, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I battle just as any artist on the street does, you know. Like, you think because of what I just said, yeah, you know, maybe, but it's still difficult. I mean, I was in the process of losing the property, so there was, of course, arguments like, you know, why is this not fixed? That? It's like, well, we're not gonna be here. And then it's like, then, you know, the income tax money ran out, so it was like, okay, whatever, you know. It's like, it was a gamble for me, because I may or may not have had you know, replaced myself in a restaurant over the weekend, wait tables and tally up all the money I needed that 1 week I did not have. And so I had to endure a lot of, you know, concern, I guess you would say. Concerns, quotation marks. I had a lot of concern of why things weren't there or why I wasn't working. But as soon as Glitch Cult was done, you know, you know, Friday night, I'm back waiting tables, and 1 weekend I tied up the cash, and that was my plan, and it worked, and it really did. You know, I was so I'm appreciative of that. But that's a battle, man. You know, I fought hard for that song, Glitch Cult. When we did the voices, I was inspired by Apocalypse from X-Men. You know, I was obsessed with it because they were doing the you know, the promotion of it, like, you know, Magneto with the magic bullet, like, supposedly killed JFK or whatever, and they were doing that promo, the same thing, the Apocalypse timeline, how he was like responsible for the destruction of civilizations and shit. And Oscar Isaac, you know, he was getting his voice recordings, and it was all like, man, the ranges that you couldn't hear, and then they were, you know, having fun with his voice, and I was so fascinated by it. So Glitch Code kind of came from that. It's called Glitch Code because it's like, it was like this, you know, God in a band. It had this theme to it, and I wanted to mess around with my voice, and do all that kind of stuff. And it was a fun time. I had a good time. You know, with the voice, you know, I just bought an energy drink, sat down in the room, and fucking recorded that shit, performed it, 3 or 4 takes, and then spent the whole time mixing and mastering. Because at that time it was heavy on production, you know, because you know, I was working at a college bar, and you know, there was just, every time I walked in there was like, hey man, you know, if you want a couple extra hours, maybe I can talk to the boss and all this shit. I was like, So every time I went home the next day, I was like chipping away at my, you know, production. I was making sure that if they were deciding to see, you know, how that shit become blasting now and dumping and shit. Hold up. So I was partying with my friend Paul Rico. He's kind of like a scenester dude. You know, hangs out with all the local artists. And I actually met him from my roommate Amanda, and then later on working at El Phoenix with him. And when we did that, we go to his apartment after work, drinking stuff. And then I was saying, it's my graphic artist at the time from comic books lived next door, so it became a big party, man. We're partying like and so one night, it was like Glitch Code came out, and they were, they don't have to, but people were referencing it, like, yeah, man, the glitch, I got the glitch. I'm like, all right, I said, yeah, there you go, because that's what it was about. It was like Glitch Code, and Puerto Rico went further and actually was like, hey, man, I like that jam, I was like, oh, thank you. I mean, he was aware of our reputation because we worked at El Phoenix, and it was like all the musicians and all the people thought I was a douche. So, I mean, he really thought the jam was cool, and he's like, oh yeah, this goes cool. It's like he's basing because Puerto Rico had like this home theater system, and so he was like, now you must hear about Arcade Fire, which of course, Arcade Fire was something that everybody name dropped. Like, it was just like Foodie, like everybody was like, Arcade Fire, like on Facebook, I went to the Arcade Fire show, it was great. And then fucking Billy Corgan, was like, man, Arcade Fire never went mainstream, y'all. They never went Nickelback, they just still in the clubs. And that's what y'all motherfuckers like. You want to be immortals in clubs and shit, you don't ever go any further, And so, that was the last I ever heard of Arcade Fire, And, but I was always curious about him, but, I was never cool enough to be invited to go anywhere but, everybody name dropped him, and finally Puerto Rico was like, Josh, Glitch Code's cool, it's based in, I like it. You want to listen to the Arcade Fire? I'm like, of course I do, So, that was cool, man, and, Arcade Fire, it made sense to me why, there was so, like, revered in the scene and revered in alternative kids, and so, I mean, Arcade Fire was cool as fuck, so, that's the one thing about Glitch Codes and making music is that sometimes people, like, they want to share with you, and that's what I love about this stuff, because people want to share, like, Josh, I like your music, and, listen to this, I like this, that's the fun part, that's what it's about for me. So, I got treated to a, big old TV screen of Arcade Fire music videos for the first time in my life, it was awesome. I got to hear him, like, full on theater thing, I was like, wow, that's fast. All fucked up partying shit. Puerto Rico, he was, everybody knew him and loved him, and he lived with his girlfriend and had a daughter, and, he actually died, he actually had a liver disease, and then he died, like, right after, so, it was like, fuck, he's dead, so, but, we always got along, we always had fun, but he was always my friend, but, he always had that thing, and, of course, he was, like, surrounded by the Josh haters or whatever, but, Glitch Code was, like, I made that in time, I guess, before he passed, so, I mean, that's cool, we had that moment, and, I mean, no one knew he was dying, no one had liver disease, but, all of us in the scenes, in that scene that, we're all hanging out together, partying together, mourned him together, and Puerto Rico was a cool fucking dude, so Glitch Code is EDM song, and, it represents, all the EDM songs that we do. We got, like, Sexcapade, which was cool, and, Glitch Code is probably the second one, but, we always had the elements, and, most of the songs are just like that, we perform our EDM music like that, like in a band performance, get a band feel, a full performance. I don't really know how EDM's made, myself, but, we make it very raw. I try to get, like, something out of it, Gabriel does all the EDMs now, I just do all the fucking rock, but, Glitch Code is badass, Glitch Code's badass, and, it's a calling card, it's, like, it's like, oh, and, when we're going on a complete fancy tour, I added more aggression to it in the beginning, because, I wanted to hit hard, and Glitch hit so hard, it was like, I added more streams, like, it was like, because that's how it is in the streets at the time, back in, 2018, that's all you heard in the streets, you walk down the street, everyone's like, you know. So I was like, I would like to, you know, use Glitch Code as a presentation in case you didn't know how aggressive the streets were. And so it comes like, oh wow, you know, shocking, it's badass, and come on strong at any fucking concert, you know, anywhere, like a, you know, rock, your scene concert, or, you know, and we were playing, you know, VVT race, we play like hip hop bills, we get invited to them, and you know, and we can play those, we can get as aggressive as that, and then Glitch Code evolved into that, and it just hits. It's okay, Mr. Fabulous. It's like, bounce to be the one, you know, beefed up, and it's real hard hitting, you know, and that grand dirge. So it's like empowering, kind of. It's like, yeah, you know. So it's a very fucking badass song. It's fucking cool, you know. And I made it in a time, you know, it's a rock and roll song. Like, you know, there was no way, you know, it could be made otherwise. You know, I would not survive. Glitch Code would have never existed. It's you know, it's one of those things. You know, it's I think for any artist out there, I know how it's hard because, you know, it's and Glitch Code is fucking it's for legit fucking shit, bro. But anyways, good luck to y'all out there. 2020, you know. We're out here, man. You know, we can crash on our couch, you know. But, you know, I would say my advice is don't give in to all this stuff. You know, make your money, get your song, try to hard as possible, but just stick to your music, man. Don't fucking fall into all this other, you know, stuff like that. You know, your art was reflecting, you know, the world and stuff like that. And you know, if you're, you know, a big of a dickhead enough, you know, me, I'm only 5'7". Some of y'all about the same height as me, or maybe shorter, you know. And don't be afraid to, you know, use your artistic voice. You know, let them know. So serious about your voice, man. And you know, the man, she has the arts and all that stuff. You know, otherwise, I don't know. There's a lot of pressure in these days. You know, like Glitch Code. I mean, I had all the time in the world. I have rock and roll to make something like that. You know, and it's a hit and all that. So it's like, I don't even know. Like Lady Gaga could, you know, probably make something like that. I don't know. Anyone could make. You know, seriously, for real, right? Who could fucking do a song like Glitch Code, you know, freely like that, without, you know, just, I mean, I just made that to my whim, and there's an element of danger. You know, in conclusion, Glitch Code was a challenge to make. It was fun to make. I rehearsed and all that, but on top of all that, you know, I was in that environment. I was working, you know, in environments like that, like I said before, you know, listening to a lot of that, like that's top 40 music, the top hits of Britney and Spice Girls, and you can really see the, you know, it had an effect. You know, you can see, like, you know, the people really respond to those kind of songs. I really wanted one of those songs. I wanted to deliver at first, being able to grace the stage like that with a song like that, and you know, just fire, you know, and I thought it was kind of neat, like vampire pop or whatever. Other than that, it got kind of edgy. You know, you could say, like, maybe somebody who follows me might be kind of worried, like, yeah, we almost died making that shit, man. We almost died, dude, for real. It sounds like it, right? It sounds like we fucking, damn, Josh. You probably knew death when you made that one. It was, man. We fucking went hard fuck. I mean, and we did perform the whole thing in sequence, so, I mean, you know, wow, right? But, yes, it was, we were totally in the cover. You know, total douchery on my part. You know, I was like, that's shit. You know, you seen that meme? You say, remember when these records came out? Michael Jackson's Thriller, a Lionel Richie record, and they're all like, bah, bah. I was like, I'm like right now. I'm like, bah. And Glitch Code was that same shit. It was like, and I wanted to sort of market it like that too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted Glitch Code to be like, you know, bah, this is this. This is all of this motherfucker. Was just like a Thriller and shit. Because, you know, that's what it was. It's one of those, you know, so, I just don't know about, like, the climate and social pressure. I'm most concerned about that. I don't think, you know, we were just lucky at that time that we had that, you know, and, well, you know, we always take advantage of everything. You know, we sit down and what do we got to do and what can we do? And boom, you know, fortunately for me, it was just a labor of fun, and I was able to take my time with it, you know, so I think, all that stuff, that was a good fucking time, man. Near death, jamming, all that shit was Glitch Code. Fucking Glitch Code. It was a good time. You know, we partied, we rehearsed it, performed it, recorded, lived it. It was great. You know, and see you out there in 2020, man. All right, now, ciao. Peace.